Hello everyone, my name is Brian, and we are here in another Dredge video. This video was actually requested by not but one, but two of the fans of the channel here. Liam recommended it for Halloween, and I'm late. And also, we had a gentleman who only went by the name of Gladiator, who also wished for me to play more Dredge, and I said, sure, why not? He shipped over the list he's playing with, and we're going to go ahead and try that. For longtime viewers of the channel, you might recognize this as Always on the Draw Dredge. So pretty much the differences between that video and this video are minimal. He happens to play one more Narcomoeba, one less Dark Blast. He also happens to be playing with Stony Silence in the sideboard. I'm willing to bet that's to stop things like Unlicensed Hearse, because super quick, Dredge is really getting its butt kicked by the fact that everyone has graveyard hate now. Some people have it in the main. Affinity and Rakdos Scam have just hate everywhere. So pretty much this is going to be a graveyard hate vibe check. So if you've seen Dredge, go ahead and look down in the timeline. I should have where the matches start there. If you've never seen Dredge before and you're trying to figure out what's going on here, stick around, I'll run through it. Alright, so Dredge is named based on the Dredge ability on some cards. Essentially, as you can see, it says Dredge and then a number. The number designates how many cards you have to take off the top of your library and flip into the graveyard in order to put this back into your hand. Now, this has this sort of pseudo-death shot flying, and you're like, that seems kind of lame. It is kind of lame. The whole thing we're trying to do here is fill up our graveyard with things that come out of the graveyard. For example, Narcomoeba. Narcomoeba, if it hits to the graveyard from your library, it comes right into play, which will bring prized amalgams, which come into play if something from your graveyard has escaped into the field, as well as Silver Smote ghouls, which come into play if you've gained 3 life. We tend to do this through Creeping Chill, another free spell that if it hits the graveyard, it just happens. Finally, to kind of finish out the game, we have Ox of Agonis. It would appear in this version of the decks, Ox of Agonis has completely removed Conflagrate. Conflagrate seems to be not as powerful without Life from the Loam. Life from the Loam being a deck that used to be a staple of the Dredge deck, but is now completely gone. And other than that, it's got red cards that help you pitch your cards into the graveyard and then dredge them back to put a million things in the graveyard. It's got Merchant of the Veil that does the same thing, Thrilling Discovery that does the same thing. It's got Otherworldly Gaze, which is the new 1-drop or 0-drop if someone remembers to go second, which sometimes I just forget to do. And pretty much you want to play Otherworldly Gaze turn 0, you want to play a 2-drop turn 1, and you want to go to the races. Now, why do I say you always want to go second? Well, Gemstone Cavern is a 4 of in the main. This essentially states that if it's in your opening hand and you are not on the play, you get to put it into play turn 0 with a luck counter on it. All it costs you is exiling 1 card from your hand. Then, hopefully from there, you have the second land in your hand and you can just go to the races. Now, you'll notice it's a very land-light deck with only 17 lands and not a ton of lands you can even like fetch up and out. It's got a stomping ground because, well, it has Ancient Grudge in the side. The side's also a little interesting. 2 portable hulls, because again, the fine gentleman Gladiator was playing around with Stony Silence to, again, stop things like Relic, stop things like Soul Guide Lantern, stop things like Unland Hearse, stop things like, there's a million artifact graveyard hate things. Ley Line of the Void stops your opponent's graveyard shenanigans. Ley Line of Sanctity stops your opponents from targeting you with things like Hand Disruption or some of the graveyard hate that does have to target a player. Also, it completely hoses Burn. Portable Hulls, which is just a generic removal spell these days. And Wear Tear, which can get rid of artifacts and or enchantments. So again, this is a very reactive sideboard to stop your opponent from completely hating you out of the game. All right. So there it is. There's Dredge in its absolute barest form, and why don't we jump into some games and see if everyone is still packing a million pieces of graveyard hate. Join me, won't you? All right, we won the die roll. We're really going to confuse our opponent now. We're not going first because we expect to get some sort of All right. So this has an Otherworldly Gaze. It also has a dead card in Creeping Chill. It has no red card, but in theory, Otherworldly Gaze should get us out of this, so let's keep and see what our opponent's up to. Opponent plays an island and a Fairy Seer. Okay, so we're going up against ninjas or fairies or whatever it is. Fairies wouldn't be too bad. I also have a Dark Blast, so I can just Dark Blast my opponent's fairy, which seems like it might be a correct thing to do. And then the turn after that, try and set up a bit. So let's see what we draw. We draw a Stinkweed Imp, so I'm just going to kill that fairy. So let's go get... This is kind of awkward, because if I get the Blood Crypt to kill the fairy, I can't Otherworldly Gaze on my upkeep. But I can just pull the Dark Blast into my hand, and then Otherworldly... So we're going to go get a Blood Crypt, because I still think killing this fairy is right, because if our opponent is fairies, they're going to have a million counters. If they're ninjas, we don't want their ninja to come out. So thing's dead, and we get to start dredging. We have a second land in hand, which will allow us to do stuff. All right, second island. Our opponent goes for favorable winds. Okay, now I'm super happy I killed that fairy. And our opponent has taken a turn off, which gives us a chance to kind of dredge a second here. All right, so we're starting to get moving there. We have to go get a blue source. Go get a steam vent. Yep, we'll shock ourselves. While they're tapped out, we're going to Otherworldly Gaze just in case. Creeping Chill, bin. None of that really helps us. The good news is all of our stuff's going to come out of the bin now. So we're going to have 6 power by the time it's our turn again. Because the Silver Smoke Ghoul will come into play this turn, and the Prized Amalgam will come into play at the end of our opponent's turn. It looks like they're holding up some sort of counter. Luckily for me, I don't need. You know, we'll put a stop on our upkeep. If they want to counter our Otherworldly Gaze, it's not the end of the world. So blue, red, Otherworldly Gaze. All right, so no, these all go into the bin. We found a Dark Blast. We're looking for an Ox now. Pull up Dark Blast. We found another Otherworldly Gaze, so we're going to continue to do things with our mana, and we're just going to come screaming in for 6, put them to 11, assuming they don't have a flash creature, and they're playing fairies. They could totally have flash creatures. Oh no, they just took it. All right. Nimble Obstructionist. I would have thought they would have flashed in Nimble Obstructionist and they would have killed the Prized Amalgam, but I suppose to each their own. Oh, they're just going to race. If they want to race, that's fine by me. All right, so we get to upkeep Otherworldly Gaze again. We're just trying to throw that Ox in the bin. Vapors. Now I'm really confused why they didn't just do that. All right, so it's our upkeep again. Our opponent counters, but Otherworldly Gaze. There's the Ox. I might as well put these in the bin. Now, if they counter the Ox, that is unfortunate. But hey, first thing we'll do is we'll attack with our Prized Amalgam. Sorry, Silver Smoke Ghoul is very dead. So Crunch. I feel our opponent having some sort of counter spell here, but we kind of only have one plan. Oh no, we don't have red mana because we Otherworldly. The good news is though, we get to discard the Stinkweed Imp into the bin, which gives us a Dredger for next turn. So opponent with 3 cards in hand. 2 cards in hand and 5 mana. Yeah, no, they're still just racing. Which leads me to believe they do have some sort of counterspell. I just really hope we flip over some Creeping Chills or Narcomoebas, really. Okay, nothing to do on our up. Pick up the Stinkweed Imp. We find 2 Narcomoebas, so that seems pretty good. All right, so we're going to attack with the Prized Amalgam again. Because if they happen to kill it, somehow the Ox will bring it back. If the Ox resolves, which at this point, I kind of doubt. Looks like they're just going to take it. All right, and we try. The good news is we again have 8 cards in hand. So if Ox doesn't go off, then that's totally fine because we can just discard the Stinkweed Imp again. All right, I'm anticipating some sort of counterspell here. It could just be generic counterspell. It could be Archmage's Charm. Insubstantiate, return it to our hand. Sure, we just get to discard it. So discard Ox, discard Stinkweed Imp. I mean, that's not as annoying as you think, opponent. All right, they swing in. We just chump, I think. If they have, like, more Vapor Snags, I don't want to, like, lose it that way. All right, nothing to do in the upkeep. We'll just pick up the Narcomoeba, or Stinkweed Imp again. Didn't find anything this time, but again, like, I have one plan here. Ox of Agonis and just eat things that aren't dredgers. There we are. That even leaves us with a second Ox of Agonis in the graveyard, which is... Okay, it even went off this time, so... Stinkweed Imp, and... Stinkweed Imp. See if they have another Nimble Obstructionist, or if we just get to... We put them to 2. We now have a million things coming out of the graveyard. I feel like this might be enough. All right, we attack for 4. I'm sure they have something, otherwise they probably would have scooped by now unless they're just trying to run down the clock. Yep, Ether Flux, that's fine. So they go to 1, which, you know, when I have this many creatures, not exactly where you want to be. Okay. How many things are coming out of the graveyard? Always yield, always yield, always yield. Yay. Yep, and our opponent scoops it up. Okay, so against blue things, I'm willing to bet his graveyard hate is going to be artifact-based. So the Stonies and the Grudges, maybe? Like, I don't think we need Wear Tear. I think Ancient Grudge is just better, but what do we take out? Merchant of the Veil is mid. I got 2 of those for the 2 Ancient Grudges. Now, what do we give up on for Stony Silence is the question. Well, I honestly think this deck only needs 3 Narcomoebas, so let's get rid of one of those. And then let's get rid of a Golgari Thug. Actually, let's get rid of 2 Golgari Thugs, put the Narcomoeba back, and then we can try this. All right, let's see how we go. Mulligan to 6. I would love to mulligan. This hand is doo-doo. Now, here's the problem, folks. We get to Thrilling Discovery immediately, but we don't have any Dredger. I mean, let's try it. Let's see how bad it is. We'll put back the Prized Amalgam, because we actually don't want that in our hand. We'll do this. We'll give up on the Bloodstained Mire. Now, first turn, hopefully we find something useful. Oh, and by that I mean we're going to get our spell countered. Oopsie. Okay, opponent. I see you. I see you. We're gonna get countered, but I think it's fine. Let's go get, I guess, a black source. Nah, let's get a blue source. And this goes white, and this goes red, and this goes countered. you gotta counter that opponent. Yeah, you can't let me do that. That happens. Next turn we could just play out the Stinkweed Imp because our opponent is an aggro deck. So if they ever kill the Stinkweed Imp, then we just start to get dredging. Unfortunately, okay, so we're even gonna get a chance to do it because I think our opponent's doing something budget, which means Force of Negation not on the menu. All right, what do we draw? We draw an Arid Mesa, so I'm game to keep getting lands out of our deck. Doesn't really matter. So black, who cares? Who cares? Ooh, I clicked the wrong creature. Oh well, I suppose a 3/3 beats down better. And if we do happen to draw a discard spell, I guess it's better to have Stinkweed Imp in hand than on the battlefield, so let's pretend that wasn't a punt! Alright, opponent's turn, plays another island, and Tempest Djinn. Well then, that's gonna hurt. Yep, we got nothing to do in our upkeep, so we draw another land. This time we just run out our doodad. Here's our doodad. Please do not, please kill our doodad. Please just attack into our doodad so that we can try and start dredging. Because it does have not death touch. I have the strange feeling our opponent probably has some sort of bounce spell. I'm sorry, what? What is that? He's gonna make our Stinkweed Imp lose flying? That's so rude. We just got blown out by a card I've never seen before in my life. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm lower to the point of A, having to hardcast Stinkweed Imp, and B, like, the fact that it lost flying suddenly became relevant. It doesn't matter. Alright, opponent, you got us. You got us with your Mew Langing Sky Dancer. What? All right, what do we just find a Creeping Chill. All right, this is the life we're leading now. So first thing we do is we try and take a stab at that Planeswalker. Hopefully they just chump. I don't see why they would. Oh, they are gonna chump. Okay, works for Brian. Black, who cares, and hardcast Creeping Chill because bleh. Alright, we'll just play that out in case we want to hardcast an Ox if we happen to draw one. Man. Okay, that's fine. That means I can't attack this turn. Whirler Rogue! What? And they get to make the Djinn unblockable because what is this? Oh man, we're getting taken to town by this mono blue deck. All right, we get crunched. We go to 6, which I think means we're dead. Silver Smote Ghoul. So they make this unblockable. They attack. We can't block 10 damage. Cool. Next game. Okay, so that got us. I wonder if they're playing any Graveyard Hate. Like, what if we take out the Ancient Grudges, we put in 2 Wear Tears, we take out the Stony Silences, we put in 1 Wear Tear, and we put a Merchant back, and we try that. Now, I could get absolutely blown out, but at least these can destroy their enchantments if they happen to have no Graveyard Hate. But let's try this, because we are going second again, because of the gemstones. So, no, I don't want to play first. This hand is awful. Everything about this hand is bad. Now, one thing you are going to have to get used to with Dredge is mulling quite a bit. So this only has 1 land. Never keep a 1-lander with Dredge. You will never draw the second land, so mull. Sure. That back. Put that back. We don't have much left in our hand, but at least we have our Gemstone Cavern. So hopefully we draw one of our many cards that put things in the bin. Otherwise, we're just going to feel bad and we're going to lose to our opponent's impressively Oh, our opponent skipped their first turn. Did they think we went first? I think our opponent got a little confused with our gemstone cavern. All right, so we did get the dredge off, but unfortunately we didn't find anything, and then we drew a creeping chill. So while our opponent did do an oopsie, they didn't oopsie that much. Tormod's Crypt. Okay, so they are running Graveyard Hater, and it is artifact-based. Nothing to draw. Merchant of the Veil. That's fascinating. So, I suppose we do Merchant of the Veil. Cast Haggle. Discard Golgari Thug, pick up Golgari Thug. Well, okay. Now they have to make a decision. Although, getting 3 of our prized amalgams is really good. Don't underestimate the fact that, you know, they might get to bamf 3 of our prized amalgam. All right, they come swinging in for 1. Pretty much at this point, we kind of want our opponent to, you know, blow up their Tormod's Crypt. Okay. They must have heard me. All right, what do we draw? Another Gemstone Cavern. That actually doesn't help at all because they're legendary. So we just play out a Thug. It's just a 1/1. The problem is when it dies, it goes on top of our library because it's not a May ability. So, oh, please counter this. Are you thinking about this because you want to counter it, opponent? Please counter my Golgari Thug. All right, so they read the Golgari Thug and they decided it's fine. I mean, it's a 2-mana 1/1. It's actually pretty awful. They play another island and they do go attacking, sure. They play the Tempest Djinn. You don't want to see that. All right, what do we draw? Okay, white, red, discovery. Yes, so I'd like to use its ability, discard Thug and Gemstone Cavern. So we're missing a lot of our guys now. Ooh, but there's one anyway. Please find an Archamoeba. Okay, so that could have been better. That could have been worse. We do have our mana to do the Otherworldly Gaze on our opponents, or on our upkeep. Because our opponent's just going to start hitting us for 1,000,000. And really our only way out of this is to try and Otherworldly Gaze into Narcomoebas and stuff. Another Tempest Djinn. Okay, so not going to lie, guys. Things are not looking good. Upkeep, Otherworldly Gaze, thank you. Blue, and who cares? Yep, they can do that, can't they? Can't pay for that. And not pay for that. Nothing we can do. We really can't attack. We found a Thrilling Discovery, though, so that gives us something better to do next turn. Because we really are just gonna super, you know, go for the Thrilling Discovery, Hail Mary. If we're alive, we're taking 12. Oh, no. All right, do nothing on the upkeep. What do we draw? Another Gemstone Caverns. Well, Thrilling Discovery. We really need to find Creeping Chills or Narcomoebas, or we're super dead. We drew an Otherworldly Gaze, but we found 2 Creeping Chills. The problem is our opponent's stuff flies, and that still puts us dead. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't just murder us. Yeah, no, there's nothing we can do, because we can get, like, a colorless mana on the field, but that doesn't do anything. So, pretty sure, even with our opponent skipping their entire first turn, we got blue aggroed out. And an auspicious start to this video, but hey, you know, maybe he accidentally skips his turn again. Who knows? Maybe that's what our opponent is about, is always accidentally skipping his turn. I think it would be great. Nimble Obstruction is so rude. All right, opponent, you got us. You got us by roughly 1,000,000. We didn't find any Narcomoebas. We even had all 4 left in there. So let him beat us to death, and then let's see how far down, like, because all 4 Narcomoebas were in the bottom 14. That's, oop. All right, so draw a card. Draw a card, draw a card, draw a card. So there were some Narcomoebas. Oh my god. All the Narcomoebas were so on the bottom of the deck. Okay, well, you can't win them all. Let's try again. All right, well, they won the die roll. Little do they know it didn't matter if they won or not. This hand is Garbaggio. 1 land, 2 Creeping Chills. Try again. This is better, so give up on probably the Merchant of the Veil. Yeah, because Otherworldly Gaze we can do twice. So first turn, let's see what our opponent's up to. Bloodstain Mire. Opponent, congratulations. If you're going to hand disrupt, this is the one dredge hand that actually has good hand disrupt targets. Please play Monkey. I have a Dark Blast. That would make me so happy. Please don't play Hand Disruption. Please don't. Aww. Yeah, so Otherworldly Gaze gets nipped. Nothing we can do about that. Didn't take Otherworldly Gaze, took Thrilling Discovery. Okay, fascinating. We draw. Another land. That's, better than some things that could have happened. All right, we'll just leave this as is in case they try and dash a monkey or play a Dragon Rage Channeler or something like that. We want to kill it with Dark Blast. Otherwise, we can always Otherworldly Gaze before our turn. Scalding Tarn. Mishra's Bauble. They crack. Take a look at their own top card. Okay, so it's Grixis, and as you folks would know, I am a bit of a Grixis player myself, but I'm willing to bet this is a real Grixis deck and not my silly Grixis deck. Are they about to drown in the lock my Otherworldly Gaze? That would be so rude. Come on, show me the drown in the lock. Oh no, okay. Yeah. I'm actually okay drawing Thrilling Discovery. I mean, we get 2 chump blockers. We'll draw Thrilling Discovery, and then we'll play Thrilling Discovery, probably. I have to assume. Yeah, so do this, crack this, get a Sacred Foundry. Love to play. So if we Cathartic Reunion, we get to discard the Arid Mesa and the Dark Blast any. I guess we do that because there's a chance that our opponent is playing Voidwalker. Oh no, we do just get to go. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it so much. A couple of Creeping Chills. I don't see any Silver Smotes. So we're just dealing them 6, which, with Shadow might be helping them. But we kind of only have one plan here. So I'm swinging with the Narcomoebas. Put them to 6. Now, the only thing that would really throw us for a loop is if they just drop 3 Death Shadows on their turn. That would be unfortunate. Scour. Well, there's that Drown. Oh, those are the 2 cards I was talking about. Stubborn Denial and Drown in the Lock. Okay. And even if they do something weird and they play like a Graveyard Hate card now, we have the ability to deal with most of it. Gurmang. Fellow Man of Culture, I see. All right. Well, we have one plan and we're going to do it. So pick up a Thug. I feel like 20's a safe enough life total to give up on the life gain of a Thrilling Discovery. Just eat things that don't do anything in the bin. Ox of Agonis, you need 8 cards in your bin as opposed to Croxa where you only need 5, because apparently Ox of Agonis is more powerful, according to the designers of Magic. Alrighty then. Yield. All right, discard our hand. Pick up Stinkweed Imp. Stinkweed Imp. So they're dead unless they have removal. They must have a Fatal Push, which is fine. We're going to have roughly 4,000 triggers in a second when we get to our end step and all of our things try and stooge out of the graveyard all at once. This looks like a Fatal Push, sure. So they go to 1, which, against Shadow is a little threatening. That is a deck with a threatening aura. All right, how many triggers are going to pop up? Not that bad, actually. Not that bad at all. All right, so that's what, 2 Prized Amalgams in reality? The 2 Prized Amalgams, 2 Silver Smoke Ghouls. Unless our opponent plays Anger of the Gods, I'm feeling pretty okay. Yep, and we take game 1 as Dredge is supposed to. All right, so Leyline of the Void seems okay. Leyline of Sanctity even seems fine-ish. Our opponent's Graveyard Hate might be Voidwalker, so I guess we do kind of want Portable Hole. I mean, the problem is this is a ton of cards. So how much can we realistically take out of this deck without kneecapping ourselves? So the 2 Merchants of the Veils, which I've only ever been mid on. 1 Narcomoeba, 3 Thugs even. Well, I think the Ley Lines of the Voids make the cut because our opponent has Gurmangs, and we can trap those in his hand. So this seems fine. Do we want to put in some sort of graveyard or artifact hate? I mean, yeah, their Graveyard Hate could be all sorts of artifacts. There could be all sorts of artifacts. We're going to bring in a Wear Tear, and we're going to try this and see if I've called this wrong. But let's also hope that they're not running their own Leyline of the Void. Try this. And again, our opening 7 is garbage. Cool. Put Creeping Chill back, and we get to Gemstone Cavern, give up on Silver Smoke Ghoul, and we get to turn 1 Cathartic, unless they hand disruption us? Oh, is our opponent doing the same thing our other opponent did? Did he figure it out? Oh, yeah, he figured it out. He went to his second main phase, but his Street Wraith is in the bin. Please don't have hand disruption. Please don't have hand disruption. Please don't have hand disruption. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please, no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Woo! We made it. We did it. Okay. Find a Thrilling Discovery. That's even a little better. We're going to go get a blue source, I think, and go white and blue. Oh, no, white and red. Thrilling Discovery. what's going, why do I have a chance to respond to my own spell? Not sure what happened there, but all right. Stinkweed Imp, Dark Blast, and Dark Blast. All right, we hit him for 3, and we set up Ox of Agonis for next turn. We have a whole bunch in our graveyard that does us no favors. We are going to have to do some major digging next turn, though. Sure. That's a little late on the Thoughtseize. Got rid of the Cathartic Reunion, but we weren't casting that. This looks like a Murktide now. Or no, not a Murktide, a Gurmang Angler. Oh, it's just a Shadow. Okay. I mean, that's just going to let us Ox a ton, so I'm fine with that. No, let's just draw. Please don't draw a free spell. That's fine. So red and red. Red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And done. Alrighty then, we discard our hand of really Bupkis, and we try and make our hand our graveyard. Blast, Dark Blast, and Stinkweed. All right, so we're going to get some things out of the bin, which is nice, and we also get to knock them down to 5. We're going to have multiple chump blockers, which is also good. Yield. Alrighty. Our guys come back. Hopefully that's enough to kind of overpower this guy. He'll swing in for 8. We can give up on Narcomoeba. If he has Teamer Battle Rage, he has Teamer Battle Rage. We already have another Ox in the bin as well, so we get to go off again. So we're going to try and keep one Ox on alive to try and swing in. Honestly, though, I realize this deck is no longer running Conflagrate, but Conflagrate would be quite good in the yard right now. Just dome our opponent for 4 and kill him with attacks. Right, our opponent, do you swing? They do swing, okay. Well, they don't have any red, so they can't teamer us. They can, what'd you call it though? They can dress down if they really want to, but that doesn't give it trample. Delve out a Gurmang Angler. This is still fine by me. All right, it's second Ox time. Oh, we also get to pick up a Dark Blast before? Well then, that appears to be the match. So we knock them down to 2, and we come swinging, and now they just don't have enough. I mean, unless they have some sort of removal spell I don't know about to kill 2 of my things and block 1, I think that's the match. Okay, so they drown in the lock 1, but they're still at 2. Yep, they block. And that's the match. All right, moving on to game 3. Wait. Where's my game log? Is my opponent going first or something? I can't tell if I won the die roll or not, but it's fine. We're mulling this. This is fine. Put an Ox back. Keep. Ox goes back. And done. And our opponent did win the die roll. Weird how Mitgo didn't really give us a heads up on that. Abundant Growth. All right. Hasn't given up on the old Yarion tactics, I say. Right. We draw. Please be a 2-mana spell. A Cathartic Reunion. Ask and you shall receive. We'll play a Scalding Tarn. Our 2 things are instants, so we can wait to see what we want to do about this. Catacombs. Sax goes find a covered forest. Okay, so it's just Enchantress. Unfortunately, that doesn't die to Dark Blast, or at least it doesn't die to Dark Blast until turn 3. Let's do a Steam Vent, and we will Otherworldly Gaze. Bin. Yeah, I mean, we have 2 lands, and we don't need a second blue land, so bin. Get a Narcomoeba. Draw. Excuse me, another Dredger. Another Cathartic Reunion. Well, there are worse things to have multiples of. So red. Cathartic Reunion, getting rid of the Dark Blast and the Ox, and picking up a Dark Blast. And apparently picking up 2 other spells too, because we can't find much. Now, unfortunately, if our opponent gets into their combo and locks us out, I think that might get us. But hey, maybe we're fast enough with our million 2-drops in our hand. Because the other thing too is they gain a lot of life. What's this? Can't be Sterling Grove. There's no white mana. Oh man, if this is Blood Moon, that'd be hilarious. Enchantress's Presence. Okay, well, I'm glad we put so many Wear Tears in our sideboard, because boy are we gonna need them. All right, in our upkeep, we really don't want to do anything. We want to draw another Dredger. A Golgari Thug, okay. Ask and ye shall receive. So red. Try again. Discard Dark Blast, discard Golgari Thug. Golgari Thug, Stinkweed Imp. Okay, we got a little bit of action going on, and now we have Oxes for days afterwards. But our opponent might be in a spot where they're just gonna outvalue us at this point, because they're going to draw 1,000,000 cards next turn, and I don't think we're going to deal damage quite quick enough to them. Although we know what their graveyard hate's going to be. It's going to be Rip. All right, we do have quite a few creatures though. I mean, it depends on if they already have the Solitary Confinement. There's not much we can do other than try and play faster than them, which we're not doing right now. But they have 1,000,000 ways they could lock us out of the game right now. Okay, so they're gonna draw 2 cards for every spell they play. Yeah, you can just turn there. All right, so that's 1 spell. 2 cards, up to 6 cards in hand. There's the Confinement. I don't think we can beat this. Really don't. Draw a card. Great Thug. Yeah. No, I don't. We're completely locked out of this right now, so moving on. All right, wear tears, please and thank you. Portable holes, please, thank you. What comes out? Dark Blasts don't actually have any target, do they? It takes too many things to kill stuff. And then merchants. So we can get rid of 5 things, and we have to try and go fast on top of that. So right now, the only treasures we want are the ones that are going to flip a million things into our bin. So let's try this. All right, first opening 7, as tradition is Dookie. So Mull. This is just as bad, Mull. Oh my god, deck, Mull. So obviously we're keeping 4. So we have to put 3 back. We have to give up on, I think, Thrilling and a Cathartic. And now this hurts, but we kind of need the deck to do stuff, so we give up on Portable Hole. And we might just get hated out of the game now because we had to keep our engine, but we had 3 7s that were unkeepable. But that's the thing about Dredge. It's always kind of been glass cannony, and it hasn't gotten any more resilient over the years. We draw a free spell. Oh, well. Yield through the turn. That gives us something to throw in the bin that we don't care about. Opponent plays a fancy Temple Garden. Plays this... fine. And we put our Graveyard Hate to the bottom. Or our anti-Graveyard Hate to the bottom. Aw. Silver Smote Boy. Alright, so yep, we do this. Take damage. Take damage. Do this. Arctic Reunion. We get rid of the 2 things that don't do anything right now. We just draw 3. I would like to point out that we got rid of our hand that was a Narcomoeba and a Silver Smoke Ghoul, and we proceeded to draw them again. All right, so now our opponent's pretty much just playing with his food. Maybe I made the wrong call. Maybe I should have kept the Portable Hole, assuming our opponent would have mulled aggressively until they found the Graveyard Hate, but... you can't always, like, assume your opponent's going to do that. Let's go get a black land. I mean, we're super dead, but hey, we can play a Silver Smoke Ghoul. We can play a spell this game. All right, our opponent has 5 cards in hand. As far as it's concerned, we have no cards in hand, so I can't imagine we're winning this particular match. They did nothing. Looks like they kept a hand that was really reliant on Rip, which really makes me wish we had kept the Portable Hole and were able to kind of go off, but... even if we kept the Portable Hole, we wouldn't have gone off. All right, let's go ahead and just play out the Narcomoeba. If we win a game 2 where they play a Rest in Peace by hardcasting our awful, awful, awful creatures, then that's a shame on our opponent's situation. Opponent getting some lands. Got that new Jund Triome. Got a whole bunch of different art snow-covered forests. Are they continuing to draw dead? That'd be really funny. What is in their hand right now? Honestly. Cathartic Reunion. Well... first thing we do is attack. If they go to 10, that's funny. Are they thinking about blocking the Silver Smoke Ghoul and just giving up on Sanctum Weaver? There's not a chance, right? No, they're just gonna take 4. All right, so we're gonna Cathartic, and we're just gonna give up on Creeping Chill and Ox. We found an Otherworldly Gaze. We found a Thrilling Discovery. I kept this up in case we found the Portable Hole, but no dice. On our upkeep next turn, we do get to Otherworldly Gaze and try and find it again. Or is our opponent finally finding, like, cards they can play? Okay, well, they get to redraw. Also, Sanctum Weaver now makes 1,000,000 mana, but who really cares about that? You're in your end combat step, opponent. Yeah, I didn't think that's what you... okay. Now, what are they playing? Another Sanctum Weaver. Okay. All right, on our upkeep, we will Otherworldly Gaze. All right, get rid of Gemstone Cavern. We're okay with this. Well, let's put Ox and then Portable Hole on top. Okay, so first thing we do is we attack again, and then we Portable Hole, and then the next turn we try and go off with what we have left. Honestly, they must have kept a really bad hand if we've gone this far. You gotta start throwing Sanctum Weavers in front of a Silver Smoke Ghoul. No fear out of the opponent. Well, look at me. I've also got something. So there goes Portable Hole. There goes Rip, so we now have graveyards again. We're going to draw Ox of Agonis, which is what we're going to pitch into the bin with Golgari Thug. They kept a hand with multiple Rips. Okay. Do you have something to follow up your multiple Rips? A Utopia Sprawl, sure. Now we give up on Ox of Agonis again, and we... I think we, like, even pitch Golgari Thug and Ox of Agonis, and we, try and just hard cast Creeping Chill for victory. Because you have to block Silver Smoke Ghoul, right? Yeah. You go to 5. I cannot believe there's a world where we win this. Oops. No, I need it. The Thrilling Discovery. Yes, I want to get rid of Thug and Ox. And we don't find anything really, but we find the Stomping Ground, which we can put into play, which means next turn we can Creeping Chill them. Now, this has been a game where they've done nothing. I have to assume at some point our opponent is going to do something. Chantress's Presence, that's not good. Is your last card Solitary Confinement? Last card is another Rest in Peace to just So they kept a hand that was like 3 rips, and they proceeded to get beaten pretty hard by Narcomoeba and Silver Smoke Ghoul. They're still not dead. They are still not dead. On thin ice. Okay, so that gets rid of, what, the Ghoul? Yeah. I mean, if they draw anything, Sanctum Weaver makes so much mana that they just get to keep going. Would appear they've run out of things to do, which is nice. We do get to Creeping Chill our opponent, though, and put them to 1. And then, you know, they die to a brisk fart. Scalding Tarn. Well, I hate you too, deck. So Creeping Chill puts them to 2. Not that they were going to rely on fetch lands anyway. We put them to 1. I'm going to play out the Scalding Tarn just because I want to not draw lands. There's no way they have no enchantments in hand. They draw a card for each enchantment they play, so anything they have is a cantrip. They have a Windswept Heath they can't play. They're making 7 green mana. I don't like that. If they just hardcast Emrakul, that's going to be so sad. This is really looking like they're hardcasting Emrakul right now. 4. Ugh. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The thing is they can't attack, can they? Because they just die in the crackback, but they get another turn. So they get another chance to draw out of this. I have to assume they draw some kind of enchantment here. Another Enchantress's Presence, okay. So they draw another card, and if they draw another enchantment, now they're drawing 2 per spell. Please have drawn a land. Nope, they found something. They found something that's an enchantment. Sterling Grove. All right, so I think we're done now. Because they get to Sterling Grove, they get to put something specific on top of their deck, and they just get to set up for the win at this point. Oh, man, we got them to 1 with the jankiest beats, but yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The only thing we're keeping is the Narcomoeba, because in reality, that's the only thing that's going to win us this game. I don't think this is going to matter. I think they're just going to find something that can either block Narcomoeba or a way to gain life, because they can just sacrifice Sterling Grove to put Slethis on top of the deck. They still have a white mana, so from there they can make 1,000,000 green mana and whatever green enchantment, or they can even make 1,000,000 white mana. This makes any color, doesn't it? So they have 1,000,000 of any color mana is the thing. I don't see how we win this game, but I've won worse situations if you've ever watched this channel. But at this point, they really should sack the Sterling Grove and then get Slethis to go up. Plus, that would mean they would draw more cards anyway. Why is our opponent not doing anything? All right, we finally take 15. I have to imagine they have more to do. There's no way they do all of that and then they die to a Narcomoeba. All right, opponent, you gotta play something. Because right now, believe it or not, what? That's so dumb. How did that work? All right, I hope everyone at home has learned something about keeping a hand that's just Graveyard Hate against Dredge. You will get beaten to death by a Silver Smoke Ghoul and a Narcomoeba. All right, run it back. Our opponent has no reason to make us go first either, so hopefully our opening 7 can involve a Gemstone Cavern. No, but other than that, it's actually a really good hand. So keep, and if they keep as aggressively, okay, so they've mulled to 5. So it looks like they are mulling to Graveyard Hate, and we have anti-Graveyard Hate in our hand. So they get to go first. They can't play the Graveyard Hate turn 0, but they can play a turn 2, which, again, you really shouldn't do. You should wait until I do something before you play Graveyard Hate. But luckily, we get to just... we drew a Narcomoeba. Luckily, we get to destroy the enchantment before they do things. So let's see what their turn 2 is. I have to imagine it's a rip. I don't think you mull to 5 with Enchantress unless you're searching for a particular enchantment. And it's rip. They're looking for rip. This is probably a white mana they're going to get. Temple Garden, show me rip. Sterling Grove. Well, we're still going to blow that up. Because that means if they get a rip, we have to blow it up anyway first. So you got us, opponent. Boom. But we do get a turn to go off. Silver Smoke Ghoul, that's fine. I mean, it's suboptimal, but it is fine. Let's go get a blue source. Go white, red, Thrilling Discovery. Yes, I would. Discard my 2 dredgers. And try and go to the races before rip comes down next turn. We get exactly 1 hit, and the rest doesn't do a ton now, does it? I have the strangest feeling they have rip in their hand. That's why they played Sterling Grove first. Which is a bit of a problem for us because now we lose 2 of our Oxes. Yep, there's the rest in peace. Now, if that's all they're doing with their turn, we're just going to play Silver Smoke Ghoul again. Oh, that is all they're doing with their turn. They've learned nothing from the first game, or the second game. All right, so yes, I would like to pay 2 life. We'll go black, blue, and whatever. And we'll even get the Prized Amalgam out because it has a little bit more toughness. Looks like they're playing a ramp thing. Yeah, Utopia Sprawl. They're playing it on the one they tapped. That's interesting. Why did they do that? Is this a path? That was a really weird play by our opponent. I feel like that wasn't on purpose. But hey, we'll take the extra damage. We draw a prized amalgam. Well, we'll just attack with prized amalgam. Put him to 9. And then, is Dredge gonna win not dredging? Again, guys, it's very important to have Graveyard Hate against Dredge, but it's not this important. It's not... I'd like to remind you, they won the game where Graveyard Hate wasn't in their deck, and we're just hard-casting 3/3s for 3. I have to imagine, like, they're gonna do something. There's no way they do very little this turn. They have to have, like, an Enchantress in presence, or a Sethis, or something. Please don't play another Rip. It would be embarrassing if you did that. Sanctum Weaver. Okay. What is your second thing? Chain to the Rocks. Oh, it looks like another... Okay, an Abundant Growth. So, they might chump one of our prize amalgams, but we're going to play Silver Smoke Ghoul. Cathartic. Well, maybe if they kill our creatures, that'll get cast. But first, we just try and beat them down. All right. Our opponent, seemingly learning very little... We now have 3/3 power creatures on the field. We did it the hard way. But our creatures that are normally on the field are on the field. How's it feel, opponent? How's it feel to get beat down by the jank? Oh, man. Okay, let's take a step back real quick. We haven't won. Our opponent can just play a land, play solitary, and try and think of a way out of this. Okay, they have Sethis, so now they're going to draw cards. So they're going to play like a 1-mana spell and cantrip a bit. We'll also put them at 4. So that when I attack in, they can double chump, and they don't die, they get another turn. I'll just spend the turn playing Stinkweed Imp, I think. Oh, yeah, no, they make a lot of mana. Okay, so there's Enchantress's presence, so they can still go off from here. So they have 3 mana, and they draw a whole bunch of cards. So there's a Destiny Spinner, sure thing. I can trade with the Silver Smoke. Windswept Heath, you don't want to crack that, opponent. Okay. Okay, then. You do you. I guess, on thin ice. Okay, I guess they did want to crack that. If we find a Wear Tear, we even get to Cathartic Reunion too, so a lot's still happening here. Our opponent is in a spot where they can really still go off. They can kill the Silver Smoke Ghoul and make it go away forever. If we draw Wear Tear, we can punish our opponent by getting rid of Rest in Peace and trying to just go fast from that point. But I feel like our opponent's even in a good spot right now. Or we'll draw that. So attack with our 2 things. Let's see how they block. I'm willing to bet they're going to go to 2. They go to 2. And we play out another prized amalgam. I think the 3/3 is just the best right now. Now, the problem is, our opponent has 1,000,000 mana, and they also gain life now for each enchantment they play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they have 7 Sanctum Weaver mana, which means they can probably gain about 6 life this turn, give or take. Another Rip, but it gains a life and draws 2 cards, so you can see why they're playing it. At this point, we probably just kill the On Thin Ice with a Wear Tear and just try and beat down. But they can still just play a Solitary Confinement, and then we just have to keep passing and hope they either time out or... Another On Thin Ice, that's brutal. Yeah, Drilling Grove? No, another Sanctum Weaver, okay. Yeah, we got real close, but unless we find, like, lands and Creeping Chills just to kind of go over the top here, I think our beats are not going to be fast enough. Also, if they play Emrakul, we only have 4 permanents this time. So it's not like last time where we can kind of haha them with the Narcomoeba and kill them on Crackback. Plus, with Sethis this early in the game, I realize turn 7's not exactly early, but, you know, another Rip. Okay. Okay, opponent. Okay. You know, I thought with all my hubris, we were going to win this really jankily. Oh, good. They have a 4th one. They're at 7. Do you have Solitary yet? And then I can just kind of give up and scoop. No? Apparently you don't. You have to discard some cards, though. Blood Moon. Yeah. Blood Moon would have been helpful a while ago. Not now, however. Gemstone Cavern. Well, we don't have one of those out. This allows us to go to attack. They would have to draw real dead for us to get them here. You have upon a Sanctum Weaver. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with getting rid of that mana. Now we can even play out our Narcomoeba, and we can go digging with the Cathartic, giving up on a Thug and an Imp. Find another Narcomoeba. Okay, well, that's not the worst. We're really just trying to find our Creeping Chills. All right, we're yielding through the turn. Our opponent at this point should have this in the bag, but I said that about game 2, and I managed to win, so... This looks like an Emrakul, and they're at 7 this time, and not 1. So that might just be the match. They having trouble casting Emrakul over there? Yes, I can see you a 15 mana opponent. Would you like to take that 15 mana and do something with it? Perhaps cast a Emrakul, Eon's Thorn. Okay, folks, well... We managed to give them a scare, but unfortunately, we just weren't able to convert. So we're going 1-2 into game 4. I'm going to save myself some editing time and just scoop here. All right, next one. Alrighty then. We are 1 and 2. We have 2 otherworldly gazes, so we're actually going to keep this and hope that our otherworldly gazes can get us out of this. Opponent goes Mountain Pass. Okay. What do we draw? Please be a land. Land. I am Dark Blast. Okay, so now we actually do have to otherworldly gaze, but we don't have to do it on our turn. We still have to otherworldly gaze, however, because we do have to find a second land for this deck to function. I mean, if they dash in Ragavan, I might be convinced to kill Ragavan first and then otherworldly gaze on upkeep, but that's the thing that makes colorless things. So this is still looking kind of mono ready. Eidolon. Okay, so this is burn. I don't know if this is normal burn or if this is mono red burn, but either way, let's otherworldly gaze before it deals us damage. Bin. None of those do anything. All right. And then we otherworldly gaze again on our upkeep, dealing ourselves 2 damage, but hey, them's the breaks. We need land. Ow. Oh no. No, these all go in the bin. Please be land. 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 No. Okay, so remember when I said at the beginning of this video, never keep a 1-lander? And then I kept a 1-lander, and then we looked at the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards of our deck, 9 if you count the one we drew. And, oh man, Blood Moon. So this is definitely mono red. Can we get out of this now? So I think we have to just start leaning on our Stinkweed Imps and hoping. So Stinkweed Imp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, apparently, we're pretty dead. I mean, we still have dredgers, but we can't ox, not with 1 land. I mean, the thing is, if we find another land, they're all going to be mountains, and then we can start catharticing, we can get back in this, but I don't think we can just start ripping individual cards off the top while our opponent sets up their board more and more and more. I think we are in the flipping of our free creatures stage of the game. Magus of the Moon, sure. No, we're just gonna Stinkweed Imp. Okay, so we found the prized amalgam, but we haven't found any of our free spells yet. The good news is we're always gonna dredge 5. The bad news is in the next few turns we're dead. So we can find some creeping chills that will probably knock them off their math a bit. I would also like to point out our opponent's at 13 somehow. So we can deal them 12 off of creeping chills if we find them, but yeah, they're dealing us a lot of damage. I have to imagine they just have some number of bolts in their hand. Fury. So that means we're dead next turn, right? So we really have to find creeping chills now? Found 1 creeping chill. I don't think that's enough to save us, though. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's literally dead. Cool story, bro. Next. All right. Against mono red stuff. I'm going to say Leyline of Sanctities are probably still even going to be fine. Wear tears are probably fine. What's bad? Dark Blasts don't seem... They have Ragavan. They probably don't have Ragavan. They don't have Ragavan, right? Right? He said taking out Golgari Thug. Yeah. Take out the things I don't like. And put in the things I think will save us. So hopefully... I mean, we didn't see any bolts that game. I'm hoping they're still using them, though. I'm hoping it's not a boltless burn deck here. But hey, we'll try this. These can also hit their Eidolons and stuff like that. These hopefully will stop them from, I hope they keep a real burn-heavy hand. But that's about all I got here. No, I would not like to play first. I would like a Gemstone Cavern in my hand. Well, then, dear viewers, what you just saw was a miracle. All right, I would like to keep. Put out Gemstone Cavern. What do we get rid of? We got to get rid of something. It's like Thrilling Discovery or Cathartic, right? Probably Cathartic. Because they can't Blood Moon turn 1. Play a Mountain. Play a Relic. Sure. Stop yielding! Darn it! I could have killed the Relic. Oh, no, because that's an artifact. Okay, so... Oh, okay. Steam Vent. Oh, good. An Archimedes. Glad you're here. This is an instant, so we don't even have to do it now. Pass, make them think that everything's fine. If they play a second Relic, then oh well. But like I literally said at the beginning of this video, everyone has graveyard hate right now. Dredge is good when people used to think, oh, people aren't using the graveyard. But with like Darcy and Croxa and stuff like that floating around, everyone is using their graveyard. So, all right. We go red, tear that down. They get to draw a card. That's fine. We find another land. First thing we'll do, though, is Thrill. The Thrilling Discovery, Yes, so what do we pitch? We will pitch the Ox and the Narcomoeba. We found another card, which is fine. We'll play this out, and then we can even just start casting 3 drops if we get that screwed. What was he? Blood Moon. Sure, we'll do this just to get stuff out of our deck here. We still have Cathartic Reunion, so I'm not terribly worried. And we still have Ox that only needs red mana anyway, so this is a non-issue. Dark Blast. Well, that at least gives us a Dredger. So get rid of Prized Amalgam, get rid of Dark Blast. Hopefully we find more Dredgers. Please. I said please, though. Okay, we do have enough in the bin to Ox. The problem is we would have to give up on quite a few things. So we're going to give it one more draw. See if we can find something creative here. Let's see what our opponent does. If they play Graveyard Hate, then I should have just allowed one of the Prized Amalgams to get yeeted. So did they buy the fact that I punted and I forgot to cast Ox of Agonis? Did anyone buy that that was a punt? Or I mean, that wasn't a punt and I was doing it on purpose? So I gotta say, that was a mistake. We draw Narcomoeba, that does us no favors. Anyway, something we should have done last turn. Oopsie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and unfortunately, yeah, no way around it. We have to give up on a Prized Amalgam. All right, so Prized Amalgam gets triggered. Bolting the Ox, okay. Not sure why. Still get to do this, though. Come on. Come on. That was amazing. Okay. So now a whole bunch of stuff is going to come out. Can we Ox again? Huh. We can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we get to make the merry-go-round go round again. Looks like I get to play through my punt here. Stinkweed Imp, Stinkweed Imp, Stinkweed Imp. We're now at roughly 1,000,000 life, and a whole bunch of stuff is going to come out of the graveyard. So unless they play Anger, we're in a pretty good position. All right. I feel like this one's in the bag. I feel like we snuck this one out. Evoked a Fury. Okay, so they get to kill 3 of the ghouls, which is fine. We have another Ox of Agonis in the graveyard, though, so not terribly worried about that. And I think there's still one Creeping Chill in the deck, so in theory they could come back. Yep. Owie, 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 owie. You attack with Eidolon. I think I take 2. So they're just gonna stomp it. Okay. They put themselves to 7, however, which doesn't seem correct on the face of it. I love that late Prized Amalgam to the party. All right. We're 12 up, and they decided they don't want to play it out. Do we change anything? I mean, we could be cute. Like, you could be cute and put in Stony Silence, which will stop their Graveyard Hate, but it doesn't do much of anything other than that. I mean, they do have bolts. They do have... So, are the ley lines bad? Because they really didn't point anything at us, did they? So we can put the Stony Silences in, like, as a cute thing. But is it better just to be proactive? Like, how many pieces of Graveyard Hate do they even have? Is Ancient Grudge just better, is I suppose what I'm asking. Is Ancient Grudge, you blow it up... Oh, they can't... They're mono-red. They can't blow up Stony Silence. And we get to put in an Ancient Grudge anyway? Yeah, let's try it. I mean, it's game 3. So do we want to only try 1 Stony Silence and put thugs back in the deck? Are more thugs in the deck important? It might be important. Yeah, let's try this. It worked last time. Deck, I dislike you. And it's clear you dislike me. Otherworldly Gaze, you bite me so much, but we have a handful of draw cards. So if we can find... Oh, they got Relic right off the top. Sure thing, boss. We can Otherworldly Gaze into something useful right off the bat. A Narcomoeba. Yes, that is what I meant. Okay. So we'll Otherworldly Gaze on their turn. No reason to give them 2 chances with the Relic. Right, they gonna play anything? No. Okay, well. Otherworldly Gaze. Sure. If we put in all 3 of these, they have to crack Relic to do it. We'll get rid of Arid Mesa. All right. They gotta let us... So we'll do Stinkweed Imp. Again, we're just playing the game where we want them to... Ooh, and we found an Ancient Grudge. So they have to do it... Well, no, they can wait until I actually try an Ancient Grudge, right? And then they can draw a card. Or they could do it now. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the correct thing to do is to wait until I Ancient Grudge. So... The Stomping Ground's in the graveyard, and I can't Ancient Grudge. Okay, well then, we'll just Sacred Foundry, and I guess we'll Thrilling Discovery. Please blow it up now. Boo. Rid of that. Get rid of that. We actually might need Narcomoeba to do something. Stinkweed Imp, Stinkweed Imp, Stinkweed Imp. Okay, now they have a million reasons to do it now. Here comes Relic Pop. Pop. Yep. The good news is we have a Thrilling Discovery and a whole bunch of Stinkweed Imps in our hand. Unless they play another Relic, in which case, whoopsie. Let's see, how much did we lose? We lost 1 Ox, lost a whole bunch of Creeping Chills, which are kind of important. Pillage. They destroy a land. Wow. Okay. So we need to draw a land now, or we just sit here and frown. Ox of Agonis. Okay. Well, you got us, opponent. Did not have pillage on my bingo card. You have 6 cards in hand. You should be able to start to... Wow! It is that kind of day, isn't it? All right. Well, we can get rid of our upkeep thing and just start yielding through turns until we find lands. Man, we have gotten demolished by, like, budgety monocolored decks today. I think it just goes to show you how far Dredge has fallen. Also, it goes to show you how unlucky I am. Sure, opponent. All right, can we start finding... Oh, and he has a scavenger ground, too, so we are just dead on all fronts. Dark Blast, yield through the turn. Are we really gonna go... we must discard, sure. We'll discard a Stinkweed. How many? Still 2 Narcomoebas in the deck and 3 prized amalgams? Okay, well, we can hope for that. They just blow up scavenger grounds, though. Like, that's a thing. Seasoned Pyromancer, sure. Another clock gets ever faster. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna concede. Let's go to the final match here. You know, there's the one week I'm not gonna complain about losing this many die rolls, because it does not matter. However, I think we've done the Gemstone Cavern trick, like, twice in all these matches, so, you know, mull. Sure. In fact, I'd even like to put more on the bottom than just the 1 Creeping Chill, but... Oh, I don't have the mana to cast Thrilling Discovery. Well, you can tell I'm starting to play real loose here. You're on Otherworldly Gaze. Well, we might be able to save it. Otherworldly Gaze, save me. Find me a fetch land. Are we gonna lose to mono blue, mono red, and mono green? Triangle Rootgeist? Destiny Spinner. Sure. In that note, what is this nonsense? So bin. Thank you, game, but no thank you. Can I please have a fetch land? Game, deck, magic gods, all of you are jerks. Ah, boy. I am in a prison of my own making here. Sure. Go to the end step in Otherworldly. Hit for 2, sure. This is Enchantress by someone else this time. Come on, Otherworldly Gaze. I need a white source. Okay, so that goes in the bin, that goes in the bin. Okay, then this goes on top of the library. All right, so we found a white source. Probably too late to do any real damage, but we'll find out together. I'm also at very little life. So gain some life, Stinkweed Imp, and Dark Blast. Pick that up, that up. Okay, so we Ox next turn, which is good. Can't Ox this turn, we're out of mana. Okay. Sethis, sure. Do whatever you want, opponent. We are dealing with a deck that is not behaving, and by that, I mean, I'm the guy who decided to play it. This is no one's fault but my own. Sure, draw all the cards to your heart contents, opponent. Dance like nobody's watching. And I'm sure by this point of the video, no one is. All right, Doug. Really? Wow. So we got to start drawing hot, right? Like, that's how this will work now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rad. Oxy Boy, which triggers 3 prized amalgams. The problem is our opponent's in a winning position at this point. So, Stinky Imp, and Thuggery Doo. Gain some life. Throw a Narcomoeba into play. Have a whole bunch of creatures come into play on our end step. One of these days, I'm going to break Mitgo by doing this. Okay, play Solitary Confinement so we can scoop. Solemnity. Oh, are they going to do it the other way? Are they going to go Solemnity and Phyrexian Unlife? Because we got nothing for that either. It's green, that's not Unlife yet. Now it's Phyrexian Unlife. Hovering on the concede button. Yup, okay, neato burrito. Getting our butt kicked. Alrighty then. We need some of these. Let's give up on these. Let's put one of those back. Actually, Dark Blast's really hit. All right, let's make this quick. All right, no, we're still trying to make the thing work. Thing doesn't want to work. Alrighty then, what's our opponent up to? So this is an easily pitchable hand for many reasons. Yeah. I can already see the thumbnail for this in my head. I realize I am the most Minow YouTuber on the planet, but I can see, like, the name of this video is Dredge still playable, and then I'm just gonna put, like, where I would normally put Modern Dredge in the thumbnail, it's just gonna be the word no. It's gonna be the same thumbnail I used for last time. Let's put back Ox. And rather than having, like, all the creatures on it, it's just gonna be the word no over all of it, as big as I can make it on the thumbnail. All right, sure, Utopia Sprawl. Stomping Ground. Yep, pass. See our opponent play a rip. Oh, Enchantress's Presence. Okay, that's not good, but that's also not that bad. So we'll get a Steam Vent. Yep. Don't need any of this. Hey, all goes in the bin. Deal him a little bit of damage, but I don't think that's really important in this game. We draw another Dredger, which is cool. Red, Arctic Reunion, discard, rid of the Imp, and come on, deck, come on. No, well, at least we drew another Worldly Gaze. So inevitably, when we get trashed by our opponents somehow, we can still do that. We got that going for us, which is nice. Actually, we do get to Otherworldly Gaze on our upkeep if we remember to set a stop. Because we'll still have 2 mana to Ox, and then hopefully we can find something of note. What's our opponent even doing at this point? Am I paying attention anymore? I doubt it. They're just drawing cards? Sure. If they play Rip, that's just sad, and we have nothing to do about it. This looks like Phyrexian Unlife they're going for. Oh, Sethis, okay. Weird that they tap that way, but you do you. Okay, that's all they got. On our upkeep, we get to Otherworldly. Actually want to draw the Wear Tear. Oh, we don't want to draw the Wear Tear because we have no white mana. Oh well. That actively gets rid of one of our draws, but oh well. At least it wasn't a free card. Could have been worse. Could have been a free card. Alright, so we attack with our 3 things. Get the guy down to 5. I doubt we find another Creeping Chill this game because what are the chances? Like, really? But Ox of Agonis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Give up on the Otherworldly Gaze. 8. Did I not click something? I thought I clicked. There it is. All right, so Silver Smoke Ghoul, Thrilling Discovery. One Thrilling. Okay, that's the best we're gonna do, I reckon. Inkweed Imp, Golgari Thug, and Golgari Thug. Okay, we're getting a pretty decent amount out here. Oh, we found the Creeping Chill. Put them to 2. So if they don't have an explosive turn next turn, we're in really good shape, but they're primed to have a pretty sweet turn next turn. Sterling Grove, all right. Good old draw 2. We'll just yield. Because if they find a way out of it, they find a way out of it. Unlife, so that makes them survive another turn. Because what happens is they go to negatives. I guess we know. Okay, so let's think about this for a hot second. They're going to go to like -1,000,000. If we Otherworldly Gaze, we need to find a white source, and we need to find... Yeah, there's still one Sacred Foundry in the deck. We need to find a Wear Tear to get rid of that. Is that better than just casting Ox? Probably at this point. So let's Otherworldly Gaze, see if we can't find something useful. None of this is useful. None of this is useful. No, we don't want to Dredge at this point. Ooh, we find Wear Tear. Unfortunately, we don't have any white mana, so now we're on the hunt for white mana. Attack with everything. No reason to hold anything back, I don't think. We still have one Otherworldly Gaze to find a fetch land, and then that'll kill them. Sort of. Because they have a Sterling Grove, don't they? And there's only one... there's no more Wear Tears. So we need to find portable holes? Seal of Safeties. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we're not attacking anyway. All right. Otherworldly Gaze. Portable Hole, Steam Vents. We can get rid of these 2. We really don't need them. Put Portable Hole on top. So Portable Hole will get rid of the Sterling Grove. Then Wear Tear will get rid of Unlife, and that's really our only move right now. No, yield the turn. If we find a white source, though, we can start chipping away at our opponent. No, actually, we can't now, because now all their things have Shroud. Yeah, everything has Shroud now, so there goes that plan. Yep. I mean, they were drawing 1,000,000 cards a turn. It was bound to happen. If we draw the fetch land now, though, I will be a bit of a salty Steven, though. Stinkweed Imp. All right, we're gonna call it here, folks. Draw. Yeah. Too late on that. Anyway, let's go right into wrap-up, shall we? So, wrap-up. Yeah, we won 1 game. We won 1 game against Grixis Delver. Congratulations, Ron. If you're still watching, I still got your number, buddy. But other than that, what happened? So Dredge has become really, really, really glass cannony, and you kind of need a lot of things to go right. You need a Gemstone Cavern. You need an Otherworldly Gazer Emergent of it. You need your hand to be even more put together than it did all the way back in the Life from the Loam days. In the Life from the Loam days, you needed 2 lands, a Dredge card, and a red card. That's it. But nowadays, it's not like that. Nowadays, you need to have, like the against the odds hand. You need to have the ideal hand to go off and win. Dredge is not a boogeyman anymore. It's really not. If you're playing Modern and you sit down and your opponent puts Dredge on the table, chances are you have a lot of ways to just nullify Dredge. You have Graveyard Hate, you have Incidental Graveyard Hate, you just have things where you'll just gain life or you'll make it unable for you to take damage. Like somehow we played against 2 Enchantresses player tonight, or you're just faster than Dredge these days. So there's a lot that happens here, and I think you can still play Dredge and you can still find enjoyment in Dredge. However, you also have to realize that Dredge is in a real bad spot at this moment. I mean, let's look at the deck. It hasn't gotten any new toys from a Horizons set, whereas everything that, you know, kind of kicked their butt, if you take that blue deck, which is just bravo, has gotten Horizons cards designed to make that archetype better. Dredge is not an archetype they like. They're not going to make things in a modern-only set like Horizons to make Dredge better. No one likes losing against Dredge. It doesn't feel like you're playing Magic. It feels like you're playing a different game. Now, personally, I always enjoyed the variety of Modern, you know, around 2016, 2017, where Dredge was a boogeyman, but so was Storm, and so was Ad Nauseam. Those are decks that were faster than Dredge and would win. You know, Death and Taxes was playable. Eldrazi and Taxes was playable. Jund was playable. Everything was playable. Whereas now, specifically in Modern, I don't know Pioneer, because I only have so much brain power, and I really don't know Legacy a ton anymore either. I still only have the one deck that I play a ton. You kind of need to see what decks they've chosen as winners, and what decks they've chosen to power up and say, okay, this is going to be good now. You know, they sat down and they said, okay, Elementals is going to be an amazing tribe. You know, the tribe is only going to be these 5 cards, but boy, is that tribe gonna take off. Okay, we've decided that Merfolk is going to live another day. We're going to print another Lord for Merfolk, and everyone's going to try it again. We've decided that Goblins gets another thing, and Goblins is going to live another day. Whereas things like Storm, things like Dredge, the decks that people looked at and said, you're not playing Magic, which I disagree with, but I get where they're coming from. Those are the decks that they only ever power up by accident. For example, Creeping Chill. Creeping Chill was a Dimir card based around the Surveil mechanic. However, you're really not surveilling, you know, and putting Creeping Chill in your deck. Otherworldly Gaze, which I think is going to turn to Surveil soon, but Creeping Chill, it only really belongs in Dredge, and that's the only place you really saw it. And it's not a Surveil mechanic, it's a Dredge mechanic. You know, Narcomoeba, again, was put into the Ravnican set for Surveil, but it's really only played in decks at Dredge. Prized Amalgam, again, like Silver Smoke Ghoul, these are cards that only exist in Dredge decks. And it's funny because Dredge has even evolved so much past what it used to be. So what did Dredge used to be? This is what Dredge used to be. Dredge used to be a mono red deck that every now and then wanted to cast Life from the Loam. And, you know, how long has it been since Bloodghast was playable? Bloodghast used to be part of the Boogeyman strategy here. In fact, this is even a pretty new version of the deck because it doesn't have Faithless Looting, which is what made it powerful, and it has Ox of Agonis in it. When I was playing Dredge back in like 2018, Ox of Agonis wasn't printed, Faithless Looting was legal. It was a completely different world. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna play Dredge, know you're in for a lot of heartbreak. And I know Dredge goes up there with a lot of decks that people have had for years, and they really want to see keep doing well. But we have had to do so many things. We're relying on a card that literally says if you get lucky, you'll be able to do this. We're giving up the first turn now. You know, it is so rare that giving up the first turn is the correct thing to do in Magic, but it's the only way Dredge is going to get away with it. And that's a little sad, and perhaps that's why it's been much longer between my Dredge videos than in the past time. You know, it's not like I don't play the deck. I do play the deck. It's just I kind of see what happened here. You know, there are some decks whose number I still have, and then there are a whole bunch of other decks where I look and I go, ooh, ow, wow, no. It's just not fast enough. It's weak to all the graveyard hate and the incidental graveyard hate. Gladiator, to answer your kind of thing, I see where you're going with Stony Silence. I really do. I think, though, personally, you want your graveyard hate pieces to be reactive rather than proactive. Stony Silence is something you do proactively, whereas everything else is kind of reactive. Line of Sanctity notwithstanding. So again, I can see where you're going with this. I don't know if I would do it personally, but if your local meta has a lot of like Asmore or just Affinity, oh yeah, absolutely, go for it. But in a general meta, like the online meta, I personally wouldn't do it, but there are metas where it is absolutely correct. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me along this wacky ride down to the bottom again. What do I want to show off today? Let me take a peek here, and I'll figure out something to show off. When is a Mox not a Mox? Well, there were times in early Magic history where they kept trying to fix the Moxen. They kept trying to do things to make Moxes something you could do in Magic without completely cracking them in half. And during Ice Age, they took a swipe at it with this wonderful card here. Oh, looks like we might have to leave the Black Void. 1 second. This is really not coming out. Yeah, no, that has a green background, doesn't it, Brian? Okay, give me 2 seconds here, folks. All right, Black Void has been turned off. Let's try this again. So here we have Jeweled Amulet. Jeweled Amulet reads, it comes into play for 0, so it's a Cheerio. You can pay 1 and tap it, and then you have to note what color mana you used to charge the amulet with. And then, if it has a charge counter on it, you can tap it, and you can produce 1 mana of the color that was used to charge the amulet. Now, you'll notice you cannot put more than 1 charge counter on the amulet with just the amulet itself. You would need to come up with some sort of proliferate tactic if you were trying to use the Jeweled Amulet as an actual Mox somehow. However, I don't think that's what happened here. So, Jeweled Amulet, a real interesting card. It's when a Mox isn't a Mox. But I went out of my way to get one back in the day because I thought it was funny that back in the day that they were really trying to give Moxes a go. If anybody was wondering why I made a silly sound, it's because I just have this thrown in there. This is a Gamma test card. It's made multiple appearances on my channel. Yeah, this is by far the most rare and expensive thing in my collection. Gamma was essentially the set before Alpha. This is a test card for Disintegrate. It has D&D art on it. It has the unicorn stamp on the back. It's been lost to time exactly what the unicorn stamp meant. But hey, that's what the thing that falls out of my binder is. I have no idea how much that thing is worth. I have actually gotten it verified by an old designer of Magic from way back in the day. The guy who was the lead designer of Tempest was nice enough to weigh in on if it was real or not, and he believes it was real. I used to work for a gaming company in New Jersey. Won't say more than that, but hey, do your own research. All right, guys, that was a real interesting week. Don't know when Dredge will come back. I think I have to keep to my original threat, and I have to wait until Dredge gets a new toy. Because right now, we kind of know what's going to happen to Dredge. Either I'm going to get lucky, and I'm going to make it look easy, or you're going to see what happens here. We're going to have a match. We're even going to have individual games where Dredge is going to completely steamroll. But more likely than not, we're going to have other problems as well. So, if you would like to see me play any particular deck, go ahead and email me at heydummyplaythis@gmail.com. That's heydummyplaythis@gmail.com. Thank you very much for coming along on this wonderful ride. I will see you guys next time. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and later.